let's begin. Welcome to This Is My Brave DC, the show. First up this evening is Lauren, and Lauren's essay is Finding My Way Back Home. Lauren recently moved to DC from Buffalo, New York. Last year, Lauren was diagnosed with depression after years of struggling, and since then, she's dedicated much of her time to ending the stigma of mental illness as she's on the board of the National Capital Chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and she's also, believe it or not, a social media volunteer for This Is My Brave, Lauren Kenney.
It was June 30th, 1998, and I was 9 years old. I was sitting on the kitchen floor with my mom and my brother, and something was definitely wrong. Through a cracked voice and tears, my mom had to tell me and my brother that our dad had died. He had taken too much of his medication, went to sleep, and never woke up. It was the first time I had seen my older brother cry. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, and after that, my memory kind of goes blank. It wasn't until 4 years later I associated the word suicide with my dad. He died by suicide. He overdosed. He killed himself. That's a lot for anyone to handle, not to mention a 12-year-old. Flash forward to summer of 2015, I am now 26 years old. I hadn't yet been diagnosed with depression, but had been in therapy consistently for about a year. I was binge drinking 5 nights a week. I was sleeping with whoever wanted me. I was emotionally abused on a regular basis. I was hungover almost every day, and I barely made it to work. I couldn't get out of bed. It hurt to think, and I was constantly in tears. Drinking numbed my heart, and it made it all a little easier. I was reckless. I didn't want to go socialize, and the only thing I looked forward to every morning was going back to bed. Some days, I didn't get up until 8 p.m. That seemed like an acceptable time to get up and start drinking again. This continued for months, and every day I wondered if it would be my last, and at times, I hoped it would be. Spring of 2016, I'm now 27, and I relocated from Buffalo to Washington. Here are the answers to all of my problems. I'll just pack up my stuff and move away from my friends and everything I know, and then I'll be happy. I'll get a job I don't hate, I'll go to the gym, I'll eat healthy, I'll make a lot of new friends, and I'll finally be happy and live a great life. Well, instead, I found myself drowning even more. I found myself in more frequent therapy sessions. I found myself drinking less, but constantly in tears. I found myself at a psychiatrist's office. I found myself taking daily medication for depression. I have depression. One night, I was sitting on my bathroom floor because I was too exhausted and physically could not get up. I was sobbing hysterically, hoping magically a shower would fall upon me. I thought about my dad. Was life this hard for him? Were there days he couldn't get up, nights where all he could do was cry until the tears seemed to run out? Did his heart feel as lonely, as empty as mine did? Could he barely get to work every day? My dad, I wanted to hug him. I wanted to say, I know we both have a mental illness, and I know they're different, but I get it, Dad. I understand what it's like to not want to live anymore. I understand a pain so great that you feel paralyzed and you don't even know who you are. Today, I'm now 28 years old, and I managed to pick myself up off the bathroom floor. After struggling with my medication and feeling like it wasn't working, I was finally able to get to a place where I could get out of bed. I was a little less exhausted, and I actually enjoyed going to the gym. I started to see a wellness coach, and I began practicing yoga and meditation. I started volunteering for organizations I truly care about and have so much passion for. I've begun to share my story and open up more about my struggles that in turn have brought me where I am today. My battle is far from over, and every day I'm fighting for myself and others. I'm working to end the stigma of mental illness and prove to people that if you have a mental illness, you can still live a beautiful life full of successes and happiness. I have no shame. I am who I am, and my past is my past, but that's what brought me here today. I don't just struggle with depression. I don't just live with depression. I thrive with depression. And I know in my heart and deep in my soul that you can too.